After a year in FF14, these are 5 things I miss from WoW. Okay, what is it? Because if you don't know a lot about me, you know that these are 2 games that have been near and dear to my heart for many years. And there are some things that I've come to appreciate about World of Warcraft that are distinct from what FXV offers. At the end of the day, I see FXV as my main game, and I generally enjoy it more than WoW. But there's always going to be part of me that loves World of Warcraft, and I appreciate the two different things that they can offer when they are both at their best. I'll put it that way. So, what are some things that you miss from World of Warcraft? Oh, can't hear it.
I've now been playing Final Fantasy XIV for
Oh my god, what an amazing accent. Oh my god, your voice is beautiful.
bit over a year. During the course of this year, I have streamed most of my journey through the main story.
Wow.
Starting from a late Realm Reborn, and currently I am in Endwalker.
Oh my god. Okay, look. She's the most beautiful voice. Seriously.
This has made my progress noticeably slower than it would be for the average player, but also has given me the time to better ponder moments in the story and the events that happen. Without a doubt, I can say the story is marvelous. It has kept me enthralled so far, and now as I've reached the level 84 of Endwalker, I wait for each Sunday with a mixture of excitement and fear for what is about to happen next. But as I played on, there are some things I do miss from my WoW days. As some of you know, I played World of Warcraft since the start of Cataclysm, giving me a bit over a decade in that universe. It was my MMO of choice, and a game I would play pretty much constantly with only few breaks. And as much as I love Final Fantasy...
It's interesting, I usually don't hear people say that they've been playing since Cataclysm. Usually it's like, oh, I played since Vanilla, or I played since Wrath, or I played since TBC. That's more rare one. I played since Cata. Though Cataclysm was... Maybe it was the best expansion, because that's the one where they added my goblin female character. That could be a shaman, goblin female shaman, special shaman.
Fantasy 14, there are a few things...
Also, like, just, this is a little bit off topic, but reflecting back on Cataclysm, that was such a crazy and ambitious thing for them to do, where they went back and physically changed the look of lots of old zones and made it look like the world had actually been, like, devastated by this dragon that's wreaking havoc all over the world. That's such a crazy thing to do, like, in terms of modern game design. Like, imagine if they did that. Wait a minute, they did do that for Final Fantasy. Wait, they did. I'm like, imagine if there was a big, like, cataclysm happening in Final Fantasy. Wait, they did do that. But you know what I mean? Like, on purpose. Not to, like, because the previous version was a complete train wreck. But just for story purposes. And another thing that was really fun, I remember, like, questing around in the early days of Cataclysm, and Deathwing was actually flying all over the world. And if you're caught out, Deathwing would just singe you. Like, you would just get burned up by Deathwing breathing fire on you, and you would die. And you would get an achievement because you happened to be outside when Deathwing was flying around outside, and he would just set you on fire, and you're dead. That was so crazy.
I would really like for them to just borrow from WoW to make my experience even better. So, I made a list of the 5 things I miss most, and I'm gonna tell you about them in a reverse order.
Okay.
Number 5. I like achievement. It's a problem of mine. I have spent an unreasonable amount of my life fishing random fish, hunting rare mobs.
You enjoy fishing. My condolences.
Or generally made a regular visit to murder the same boss again and again and again and again in a vague hope that maybe one day he will give me a mount.
That makes sense why you like fishing then, because it's the same. It's like the other day I made a tweet that was like, when people talk about Final Fantasy XIV respecting your time, they're not talking about fishing. Because, no, in general, the game is not an RNG casino hellscape like World of Warcraft. But it is if you're into fishing. That's what fishing is. It's the RNG casino hellscape of this game. So if you like that aspect of World of Warcraft, you're probably going to like that. All the office we're going to do.
Then I don't get it and have to wait till next year when the stupid headless bastard shows up again so I can repeat the progress on murdering him on multiple characters in the vague hope that the ugly horse he is holding will become mine because I need it.
Yeah.
As I said, I have a bit of a problem. So, in Final Fantasy XIV, I was quick to find the achievements window, and soon there was something I missed a lot from WoW.
It really bothers me that you have behind you a mob that you need to kill for your hunting log because he has a little target symbol above his head. I can't stop looking at it. It's really bothering me. You really need to go. You need to stop what you're doing. You turn around. You kill the guy until his little icon goes away. Please.
Because they don't show me how much of each category I finished, or how many of the total achievements I finished. Just have the basic of you have finished this amount of achievements out of that amount of achievements would be so nice.
Huh. I never thought about that before. I guess I was never that achievement oriented, but what I would really love to see is sort of the dungeon style and raid style achievements that World of Warcraft has, where you can choose to defeat the boss in a really strange way, and then you'll get an achievement for that. I think that would make a lot of dungeons way more interesting, way more fun, right? And especially they had the same kind of thing for a guild. Like, we can have FC achievements where, as an FC, you can complete this achievement together, and then, like, you can work towards completing all the FC achievement progress to get some kind of reward for everybody in the FC to have, like a special amount or something. I think that could be really fun and promote coordination within FCs, promote reasons for people to join the FC. But yeah, I always enjoyed WoW has a lot of really goofy dungeon boss achievements where it's like everybody gets hit by the same mechanic, everybody gets hit by the lightning, and then everybody needs to feed themselves to the boss's dog, and then they need to get shit out on the left hand side of the arena, and then everybody needs to take the tether and wrap it around the boss, and then you'll get the achievement. That's really, I mean, it's fun.
Because it was always satisfying to see the number go up as I finished something, not to mention the exciting part when new achievements were put into the game. I just want a nice achievement window that shows me my progress. It would be lovely. It's a minor thing that I miss, but it's still something I would love to see.
Okay.
Number 4.
Okay, that's
The
valid.
transmog amount. Most of us like our glamour. If anything, I'm pretty sure FF14 has the best dress community. This comes from the beautiful variety of items we can obtain. But the fact that I have to go to one of the main cities and into an inn
Lalafell books are so tiny.
so I can change my glamour plates is really annoying.
Yeah, it's annoying.
In WoW, I had a mount. Well, 2 mounts, technically. In short, there were mounts you could use to change your appearance.
What if you could have a mount that had a glamour chest on it? Okay, a mount that is a glamour chest. You just get, a mount that shrinks you down into a little glamour rock, and you can live in the drawer while it bounces around, like one of those wardrobes from Beauty and the Beast.
Wherever you were, as long as you could mount up, or simply if you came across somebody else who was riding that mount. It was perfect for those moments where I got a new item.
Also, the market board on it. So you got your glamour guy on one side, you got the market board on the other side. It's amazing, yeah.
So cool, and I just wanted to make something with it. I could make an outfit for my character wherever and whenever I wanted. I didn't need to leave the area I was in. It was so nice. It was also great for those times when I was out questing and I get an item that is just hideous but is also a great upgrade, and I just need to get rid of the appearance as quickly as possible. But in FF I have to go to a city, or at least a sanctuary, if I want to change my glamour plate, or I have to use whatever I have in my bag.
Yeah, so here's what you do. This is what I do. I'm sure there's other people that do this. Carry with you emergency glamour rations, all right? So no matter where you are, make sure that you always have in your possession some glamour items that are going to be good to go to glamour on top of anything you fucking equip, okay? So like maybe the hempen camis, you can always have it ready. Maybe like some adventure boots or the farmhand boots or some level 1 all classes item. Keep that shit on you at all times so that you don't get caught out looking bad. Okay, you always need to be prepared to be equipping new stuff anywhere, anytime. Because if you're caught out looking bad, the glamour police, the fashion police will find you and they will shut down your account.
At the moment, to just individually glamour the pieces. Instead, WoW, you just had them out with full access to every single apparent you have ever collected. Yeah, it's actually gonna be a point very soon. But first, number 3, diving into water without transition. What? I like water. Well, some water. I'm afraid of super deep, dark water, but I love bright water where I can see the bottom.
I hate water.
And I love diving underwater with my character. There are very few.
That's why I drink so much water, is because I hate water.
Ponds, lakes, or rivers in World of Warcraft that I have not swam in just for fun. And this makes the swimming in Final Fantasy really disappointing to me.
Really?
Well, I do love the underwater areas. I hate that we have to transition to them. They don't feel connected to the area above water. I just miss being able to jump into any water that is deep enough for me to dive into and just swim straight down and come straight up without having to have any sort of transition, because I feel they're just a little bit immersion breaking. And I would love to be able to just not have that transition. It's probably something that won't ever change, but it still makes...
Well, that's something I don't think I've ever heard anyone complain about before. But I think that it is valid that a lot of times the underwater area doesn't feel significantly different than the above ground area. Now, there's some exceptions to this. Like, I think in a place like Ilmag, the underwater area, you feel like, okay, I'm definitely underground. I'm definitely underwater in Ilmag. Like, this feels thematic to the zone. But a lot of other times, sometimes, like, it can feel less like it's part of the zone. Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point. One that I haven't heard. It's a unique perspective. I think hands down the best underwater content is Guild Wars 2. I haven't done that yet. I'm still fighting the character creator boss in Guild Wars 2. So people did complain way back in Stormblood. It was very little. Oh, so people did complain before. It's a hidden load screen and isn't part of the same map. Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. For me, like, I don't like the water in general, like in life. I try to avoid being in the water. I don't, if I'm at the beach, I will hang out on the beach. I'll like maybe put my feet, like stand a little bit in the shallow part, and then I'm out. Okay, I don't like to spend a lot of time in the water. But also in games, maybe it's just because of that like feeling I have about the water that I don't like to spend a lot of time under there. But it always feels awkward and uncomfortable for me to be underwater in a game. Like, no matter how good the underwater content is, it's always just a little bit off-putting for me. And I think this is a common complaint, because I remember the Vashj'ir zone in World of Warcraft, which is she probably knows a lot about this because she said she started in Cataclysm. I'm sure she quested through Vashj'ir. I would be curious to hear what her opinion about Vashj'ir was, because from a lore perspective, it was pretty cool. Like, it was neat. And I think that they couldn't have done a better job making the underwater zone. Like, it was beautiful. But I still felt like, I don't know, weird. I felt out of sorts being down there. Like, I think it's really comes down to just my personal dislike of water. That probably is my problem. It's probably a personal issue.
Makes me a little bit sad. Number 2, flying from the top of a continent to the bottom. I will admit I miss flying. That is, I miss flying for a long distance.
Vashj'ir is probably the best an underwater zone can be. Yeah, I really do think that.
Makes me a little bit sad. Number 2, flying from the top of a continent to the bottom. I will admit I miss flying. That is, I miss flying for a long distance.
What?
When it comes to flying, Final Fantasy is far superior when we are obtaining our flying. At least in the past WoW expansions, where we had to do this whole annoying achievement questline that would take you several patches.
Do you still have to do all the Mechagon stuff and get exalted with those guys to get Pathfinder and WoW? Did they make it easier later, or do you still have to do that? Like for BFA zone, do you still need to do Mechagon and stuff? Yes or no? You need Revered. Oh my god, no. No. Because I have 2 accounts. Okay. I have a European account, I have a US account. A really, It's like, by the time I got flying in BFA, I didn't want to fly anymore. I just didn't want to be in it anymore. So bad. Okay, but why is... So, yeah, the ether current system is better than that. Because it still gives you an appreciation for running around the zone while you're questing. It gives you an appreciation for, you know, what flying can offer you in the zone. But Dragonflight is coming up, and I've played the alpha a little bit, and dragon riding is pretty sweet. I mean, it's pretty fantastic. I love it so far. I wonder if she's going to address that.
And you were just kind of waiting half the expansion's lifetime to be able to fly in the zones.
Yeah.
I like that in Final Fantasy, we can earn the flying much
Pretty easy
faster
on.
at our own pace, and we still have to
You
work
can just have somebody fly you from current to current.
for it.
You're
But
good to
it
go.
feels more reasonable. But there are some things I miss about flying. I miss flying a long distance. There was just always something peaceful about taking a long flight across a continent, passing over multiple zones without a loading screen, just me and my mount on a long journey. From time to
Wow, that's such a nice thought. Like, it's one of these, like, small things that you kind of take for granted in World of Warcraft, but that is actually really nice. Like, there is something charming. There is a charm to be said about the long flight paths in World of Warcraft. Is it a pain in the ass to not have ether rides? Yes, it's a huge pain in the ass. But, those long flights they do make the world feel bigger. I feel they add an expansiveness to the world because, like, you have a better sense of the massive distance between a place like Darnassus and Silithus, right? If you want to fly from one spot to all the way to the other spot, it's going to take you a super long time. So you have a better sense of where things are, how far apart things are.
time if I had to go somewhere, but
That's a nice
I wasn't in a hurry. And
Wait,
I just
did you say 90% of the time I ended up dead in the ocean from fatigue because I got bored and tabbed out? Yeah, I did that too, man. Like, put the auto run and just tab out, do some other stuff, and be like, oh well, I'll just tab back in a second. I'll totally remember to tab back in a second. I'm not gonna forget because it's gonna be faster for me if I just auto run and fly all the way there. And I'll just check back in a second. Pretty soon, yeah, you are like way past the limit. You're like out in the ocean.
wanted to kind of chill on the way. I would teleport to somewhere not necessarily too close and then just fly. Not to mention, at times I just didn't know where all of the portals were. So there are moments where I would fly across several zones simply because I didn't realize there was a way quicker way to go. But I always liked these moments of just watching the scenery below me change, going past snowy areas, mountainous areas, really dark volcanic areas, deep jungles and fields. It was peaceful and nice, and I miss it. In FF, every time I want to fly between zones, there's always a loading screen. And while I love the teleportation system, and I love the diversity of the zones, and I know they can't be connected, I still feel it would be really nice if we could try to connect some of the zones. Even if I know all these things, I still miss these long flights.
Yeah, basically loading screens suck ass, and they should all be removed.
The world just feels so big.
Yeah.
In a way, FF doesn't quite manage in the same way. So it's something I miss, but something I'm also quite aware is probably never going to come to Final Fantasy
It's not
14.
happening. Yep.
But my last point could, hopefully.
That's
Number
not
one,
change that.
the Transmo Closet. As I mentioned before, Final Fantasy 14 has some amazing glamour pieces.
Yeah.
Something that can work in many different settings and others that can fit more of a unique scenario. But
Do you want to copy somebody else's layout of, like, save what they have as a glamour so you can know what to go get later?
I would like to collect every single piece of clothing.
Oh,
So
well,
when the time comes,
oh, okay. Well, no, that's not.
I want to dress my character up in something
That's not
different
gonna happen.
than my usual style. I got the option. After all, sometimes when you get an armor piece that just doesn't look that great, it suddenly can become an integral piece of a perfect glamour, like way down the line. And then I curse myself for not having it anymore. And this is why I miss the WoW transmo closet.
Yeah.
Different from FF14, where you gotta take the pieces you want to keep forever. And
this is a mandatory thing you have to say. Like, for any time people talk about what they miss from WoW, this is the thing that everybody includes every single time. This is the one thing that, maybe more than any other thing, WoW does so much better. It's not just the transmog closet, okay? It's the entire collection system. Because down here, it's just a tab. It's a whole collection system, and here's the tab that says appearances, but there's more than that. There's the tab that says heirlooms. There's the tab that says toy box. There's the tab that says pets. There's the tab that says mounts, all within the incredibly convenient collect them all, gotta catch them all collections interface. As somebody that loves collecting shit in games, like I think probably in my times of World of Warcraft, the only thing that I enjoyed more than raiding was collecting. Like, I probably spent more time over the years when I wasn't able to be more serious player collecting stuff. Like, that's a pretty essential part of gameplay, and I wish I could do that for Final Fantasy 14, because like in WoW, like, you're happy to collect something even if it looks like shit, because you collected it and now it is in your possession. It's like crow brain collecting shiny things to put in your jar. It's the same sort of mentality here. So like, oh, I got something and it looks horrible. Good. It's new. It's new and it's mine. It's mine.
Put them in your glamour dresser or on your retainer. You gotta store it somewhere.
Mine.
In WoW, they would just be automatically put in your closet.
Yep.
It's just a collection of every locked or unlocked clothing piece your character can wear. It meant that not so interesting shoes I may have come across at level 30 are there for me to try when I get my epic endgame gear, and they are suddenly the perfect addition. There's no limitations to the closet. There's no way to run out of space. And it even showed me an overview of everything I got already that I could wear, and everything I didn't have yet. Yeah. It allowed me to play with an outfit, create my own look, and then figure out where the hell...
It's such a shame because the gear in Final Fantasy looks so much better than the gear in WoW, and it's just like... It sucks that they get the system and we don't, when... Doesn't our gear deserve it more?
I was supposed to get the pieces for it. It
WoW
just gave
gear.
so much freedom. Not to mention, you could check the clothing closet anywhere, allowing me to play around with the outfits wherever and whenever I wanted. And to check the closet, you didn't require the mount to do it. It was just a menu you had. You opened it up, not any different from how we can look at our minions in game. It was just there to look at when you wanted. And it was excellent when I was waiting for queues or waiting for a rare to spawn or just doing...
I saw you have the booty shorts, so you've already completed your Island Sanctuary to rank 10. Okay.
Something that required me to wait for a bit. I would often play with my closet and see if I could get any new outfits or see anything like that was different that I really liked. And I wish Final Fantasy would have this, because while the clothing are far superior, I just wish they would...
And watching her do this, like watching her go through and examining every character, I'm realizing how much you need a button that's like try on all. You just right click, try on all. So you automatically try on everything that the person has. Instead of having to go through and click every single thing like 100 times, you could just try on save outfit, right?
This one thing from WoW, so I would have
like,
more...
It's one of these things that I didn't realize what a pain in the ass it was until I see somebody else doing
freedom
it.
With my glamour, and be able to look at all the fancy outfits without having to hunt down random people and inspect them all the time. Because I am the creepy person who kind of stands there and stares at you because I am trying on your clothes.
I see that. Oh my god, you've done it to like everybody in the Etherhead Plaza already.
It's off sometimes. I would really love to be able to just see the items
You're on
in my
here.
own glamour closet of sorts. Not to mention that we could get rid of the glamour closet with a limitation, which is just always so annoying.
Their name is Nyanster Person.
Maybe one day. They keep on adding more slots to the glamour closet, which I don't think is the solution to that thing. I think they need to find a better system, and I highly recommend that we look at what World of Warcraft did and we steal it.
Steal it.
Because that is what
Steal
good games do. That is what made WoW great many times.
Yeah, what made WoW great? Stealing ideas from other games. Why is Dragonflight so cool? He stole it from Guild Wars 2. It's time to steal shit.
I looked at other games and went, oh, that's clever. I'm gonna borrow this.
Borrow
I
it.
think Final Fantasy should do the
Lift
same.
it.
And these are the things I
Pull
miss
it.
from WoW. It's definitely not a lot of things, and surprisingly,
Valid.
it's not a thing.
Look, it's completely valid points here. There was no point that she made here that I thought every Final Fantasy 14 player couldn't see some validity in.
Things that mattered the most to me when I played the game.
Interesting about
I think
the
with Final
swimming
Fantasy
thing, though.
really fulfilling my need for a good story, fun gameplay, great community, I don't miss a lot of things. But here are 5 things I really do miss. And I hope
That's
maybe
nice.
some of them end up in Final Fantasy one day.
Transmog.
Now, thank you so much for watching. Tell
Yeah, get inspired by it.
me, is there anything you would love to see in Final Fantasy, be it WoW or any other MMO? Tell me about it. I would love to talk about it in the comments. So, put it down there. Tell me about all the things you miss. Maybe I will discover some things that I miss as well. And you never know. Maybe I will make a list of the things you
the
guys
video.
miss from
There's a
other
link
games
to the
that
video.
Final Fantasy could definitely do with. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a lovely day.
Well, I enjoyed it. It was a good video. I really liked it, and your accent was super awesome. And it was good points that you made. Interesting points that I'd not heard before, like the one about swimming and the one about how much better the game would be without the transition loading screens between zones. That's something I don't hear talked about a whole lot. It's just these things that you tend to accept, that it is the way of things nowadays, you know. And another thing is that I hate the fact that I saw the picture of this stupid horse, and there's a part of my brain that's like, you can still get it this week. It's really easy to get a chance at it. All you have to do is go to Kara, get in there really quick. It's gonna take 5 seconds. Okay, like 5 seconds, in and out. Adventure, like real quick, 5-second adventure, in and out. You can get a chance at it, and then you log out and you exit the game. And you don't need to play the game. You can get it though. You can get a little bit of dopium for trying. You can't win if you don't play, you know. You can't win if you don't. Yeah. You're like, I mean, that looks bad. It does. It doesn't even look good. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay. Because that's just not like I think that playing World of Warcraft so much during my formative years while my brain wasn't fully like developed has caused me some brain damage. And I think that like it just I can't look at this and be like, that doesn't look good. Why would I want that? It's like, this has value. And you could gamba and get it. You could totally gamba. You might not get it, but you might. What if you did? Remember how you got Time Lost Proto Drake? Yeah. Yeah, remember? It's so bad.